You're onto the Power Circuit, proudly brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. In this edition, we have a special report on the just concluded sessions by the management of TCN with officials of the distribution company's DSTV on its Performance Improvement Plan, PIP, a periodic strategic framework to guide investments in bulk power transmission and operation in Nigeria. I am Amara Agogesi. This program brings you the best of the power sector. Towards advancing its mandate in line with the Transmission Master Plan, the management of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, has unveiled its Performance Improvement Plan, PIP. This is a periodic strategic framework to guide investments in bulk power transmission and operation in Nigeria. This special report is on the several sessions the management of TCN held with the distribution companies towards ensuring they key into the implementation of the plan for the overall enhancement of the power sector.
The Performance Improvement Plan is a one-stop tool that enables adequate planning by TCN that complements its already active least cost transmission master plan. Taking us further into the essence of having a PIP for TCN, the General Manager System Planning and Development at TCN, Engineer Kabiru Adamu, speaks on the company's collaborative sessions with the DSTV.
Part of the requirement is to achieve a kind of alignment between what TCN is planning and the plans of the 11 distribution companies. So through this consultative engagement, we're trying to see how those alignments will be achieved so that at the end of the day, the documents, the performance improvement plan, will meet the expectation of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, will equally meet the electricity alignment to serve the end users.
TCN held the collaborative sessions with the DSTV at the PwC Experience Center, a foremost consultancy group. The consultative sessions aim to ensure a buy-in of the DSTV into the objectives of TCN Performance Improvement Plan, PIP.
We've given them some of the guidelines on the areas they need to work on and get back to the TCN with their feedback for us to finalize the alignments.
At a session with the Jos Electricity Distribution Company, JEDC, the General Manager System Planning and Development at TCN, Engineer Kabiru Adamu, told the officials that the plan was for actions that will be taken in 5 years to improve bulk power transmission.
You are welcome to this consultation meeting between the TCN and the JEDC with respect to the preparation of the 5 years performance improvement plan of the TCN. You are aware that this is being driven by the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, and there are a set of guidelines that needs to be complied with in terms of preparing the performance improvement plan. One of the key requirements, of course, is ensuring that whatever TCN is planning is in alignment with the plans of the 11 distribution companies. This we intend to achieve, which is one of the reasons why this consultation is being held. We want to prioritize the alignment in 2 key areas. The first area is in terms of aligning the investments. What TCN is planning to invest or TCN is currently investing on, how does it align with the investment of the DSTV, so that at the end of the day we are going to have a handshake in terms of our investments on both sides to be able to let us, to enable us achieve seamless transfer of power at the various interfaces TCN have with JEDC.
The facilitator of the PIP consultation session, Ademola Olaopa, said already the PIPs for the DSTVs have been approved by the National Electricity Regulatory Commission, NEC, which means they already have the projects that they are working on. These projects are to be aligned with those of TCN for seamless impact.
We know that your PIP has been approved by NEC, so it is now more or less an opportunity for us to deliberate on what projects you already included in your PIP and try to align it to what is doing in the next 5 years. So that's the alignment that NEC is expecting of us.
A transmission systems consultant for the World Bank's Nigeria Power Support Program at TCN, Dr. Sheung Amoda, highlighted the various power transmission projects that TCN is undertaking across the 10 regions, which course across the 11 discos.
World Bank projects in your franchise area. The World Bank projects are projects financed by the World Bank. The NETA project, so we have reinforcement with a 1x300 MVA in Gombe and 1x100 MVA at the 132 kV site in Gombe substation. The same thing for Jos substation.
Responding, the Chief Technical Officer of JEDC, Engineer Hamisu Jigawa, said the DISCOS was constructing several substations that will pick load from the new facilities that TCN was building under its franchise area that includes Benue, Plateau, Bauchi and Gombe.
We are proposing to buy 60 MBA in that location because of the anticipated commercial activities that will come up in that area. Equally, we still have another one, looking at having another one in Bissau. Presently, Azare is feeding from Kano, from Boso side, and with associated low voltage and fluctuations. Presently, Bissau is feeding from Azare on that tree, and Darazo from Gombe on that tree. So that area, if you look at it, we need to have a substation around that axis. So that, yes, so TCN will now close that line from Bauchi, the 330 that is coming up now. The 132 will now go from Bauchi through Bissau and cross Azare. That's what we are looking at.
During the session for the Benin Electricity Distribution Company, BEDC, Engineer Amoda explained the various project components of TCN, including projects that are funded by the World Bank, the mutual projects between TCN and the DISCOS under the Service Level Agreement, SLA.
The SLA projects are the projects you selected yourself. You are familiar with the SLA project. The NDPAC project, okay, you don't have any. Then you have the World Bank NETA project, FGN Nigeria project. Then you have the AFDB NTEP project. Then you have 2 reconstruction related projects. Now based on our own findings, over time, you have like 24 substation requests, then 4 transmission line requests.
On his part, Engineer Adamu, who is also the chairman of the TCN PIP Steering Committee, said TCN is also collaborating with DISCOS to install the automatic meter reading devices, which will enhance transparency in the interface level.
As per the AMR, yes, you are going to be granted access to your own interfaces. I think the constraint is that the AMR's pace of implementation is a bit slow, and the DISCOS are in a hurry to start having this data.
And for the session with the officials of a co-electricity distribution company, EKEDC, Engineer Damu said collaboration is key.
It will only make sense if we are aligning ourselves in terms of the way we make investments, so that at the end of the day, you are investing here, TCN is investing here, and we all converge, be able to service our end users effectively and ensure that the system is stable and operational. So we would like to see and share with you what TCN is doing in a co-distribution company, and how we are also addressing some of the requests we have received earlier on from the group, so that we hear from your own side what you are doing, and let's see how we can align our timelines, so that if we are targeting a particular project for year 1, how do we see that from the TCN and we are also trying to meet you by that year 1.
The Enugu Electricity Distribution Company (EEDC) had its fair share of the TCN consultative meeting on the performance improvement plan. A senior associate PwC Nigeria, Mr. Ademola Olaopa, who facilitated the meeting, gave the overview of what is expected by DISCO in its franchise area.
There must also be what we call a proposed plan from the DISCOs on why this project, if this project is done, DISCOs will be able to do this in order to attain distribution of power to the final consumers. So all this must be done. We're looking at a 5-year time frame.
You are onto the power circuit. The discussion on the performance improvement plan for TCN is ongoing. Take a seat.
Just count all the blocks, eh?
Sir, we are a transmission company of Nigerian linesmen, and we just observed that you're about to erect a structure here.
You're very observant. Yes, I'm trying to put up a shopping mall of 200 shops that will serve this neighborhood. And I'm very excited about the project.
But sir, have you observed that it is under high tension transmission lines? It could snap, drop on the shopping mall and electrocute everyone inside it. Moreover sir, these lines emit electromagnetic waves that are harmful to the health of human beings.
Really? This could cause so much harm?
Absolutely sir. Imagine if there's a fire outbreak in the mall. It could destroy the transmission lines, causing outage to many states in the country. Erecting a structure under high-tension transmission lines will not help government efforts to grow our power supply and grow our economy. Be part of growth. Do not destroy electricity power installations. Little vigilance and concern on our part is necessary to protect transmission infrastructure nationwide. Be vigilant.
This message is brought to you by the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. Transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner.
All these engagements are not for show. They are a process that the federal government is painstakingly putting in the power sector value chain to ensure Nigerians experience improvement in electricity supply nationwide.
Whatever we are doing is actually to ensure that Nigeria and Nigerians are able to get quality electricity services to their homes, their businesses, and whatever services they need electricity for. So, because the power sector is a value chain sector, comprising of the power generation, power transmission, and also the distribution system, alignment across the three segments of the value chain is absolutely important. So irrespective of the performance of each of the segments individually, if there is no alignment in terms of how the operation will be streamlined, then the tendency that the Nigerian electricity users are going to suffer, because any misalignment has a negative impact on the quality of service to be delivered to Nigerians. So with this engagement that we are coming up, that we are handling, and trying to establish alignment in terms of the 5 years performance improvement plans across the value chain, we believe that Nigerian electricity users are going to impactfully benefit from the outcome of the exercise.
The next session was with the Ibadan Electricity Distribution Company, IBEDC. Engineer Amoda spoke of the JICA's Lagos Ogun transmission projects, the World Bank projects, and more, and how they will impact on Ibadan Disco's franchise area.
You have like a big project that actually benefits you the most, which is the JICA Lagos Ogun project. It was actually, I would say you are the biggest beneficiary. Let me just put it that way. You are the good disco.
At the session for the Ikeja Electric, the facilitator, Mr. Olaokba, emphasized on the importance of collaborations in driving the power sector value chain in the right course. Officials of TCN also engaged their counterparts at the Kano Electricity Distribution Company, KEDC.
We appreciate the collaboration and we appreciate the fact that you've taken notes of the things you are going to get back to us with. We expect your feedback hopefully in the next 1 week so that we'll conclude on our performance improvement plan in preparation now to be able to meet the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission's expectation. And we really assure you that TCN will do its best to achieve this alignment and also try to drive this project towards successful completion. Once again, on behalf of the management of TCN, we appreciate your comment and we wish you a safe journey back to your destination. Thank you.
The TCN team further engaged the officials of the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company, PHEDC, on how they can align their power improvement projects with those of the TCN, especially under the Port Harcourt region of TCN.
I want to see the level of alignment that can actually be established between us and be able to know if there are other gaps that we have not addressed in so far what we have done, what we need to do to be able to close them out so that by the time we conclude our performance improvement plan, we are expected to have seamless transfers between the Transmission Company of Nigeria and the Port Harcourt Electricity Distribution Company.
These are both the team from Kaduna Electric and those of TCN in a collaborative session on how projects being developed by both companies can improve power supply to the end users around Kaduna franchise area. Engineer Damu said TCN is delivering a transmission substation within the Kaduna Electric franchise area to boost bulk power supply.
Normally we get a substation delivered at a minimum of 18 months. 18 months. That's at minimum. If there are no delays at all, we deliver a substation at a minimum of 18 months. There's also a transmission line usually at about 24 months. Right? So if we're looking at that from that perspective, and of course we don't anticipate any major constraint in terms of implementing this project. So it's possible we can deliver the substation in 18 months and the line in 24 months. So from now, if we're talking of 18 months, that means towards the end of 2024.
There was also a consultative session with the officials of Yola Electricity Distribution Company, YEDC. TCN seeks to align its power transmission projects with those of the YEDC, which services most of the northeastern states. Speaking at the end of the session with the DISCO, Engineer Kabiru Adamu, who chaired the TCN Performance Improvement Plan Consultative Committee, was confident that the objectives of the consultation was largely achieved.
So the objective of this consultation, in my view, has been largely achieved because we have established understanding of how the alignments we're looking for will actually come to be, so that at the end of the day, both sides will have their priorities aligned and be able to deliver electricity to Nigeria and Nigerians. So on behalf of the management of TCN, I want to express our appreciation for the time and the level of engagement we have had today, and wishing you a very safe journey as you go back.
In summing the success rate of the collaborations, the General Manager System Planning and Development at TCN Corporate Headquarters, Engineer Kabiru Adamu, said there was commitment from representatives of the DISCOs towards the alignment on the performance improvement plan of the DISCOs with that of the TCN.
The goal of this engagement was well established. The distribution companies were made to understand clearly what we intend to achieve, and their participation and contribution indicated that they understood us and that they are ready to make all necessary support and contribution to ensure that such alignment is achieved.
And to the TCN management, Engineer Kabiru, who chairs the Performance Improvement Plan Steering Committee, lauded the foresight and the support towards the realization of the plan, as well as the robust collaborations with the DISCOs.
This committee working on the Performance Improvement Plan has enjoyed the support of TCN management from the start up to this point, and we are hopeful and optimistic that this support will continue until we deliver on this particular assignment. The management of TCN clearly understood the importance of this assignment, and they will not relent in providing all necessary support to ensure that we achieve the assignment in a manner that it can meet the expectation of Nigeria Electricity Regulatory Commission.
That was a spotlight on the Performance Improvement Plan, PIP, of the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN. This strategic tool helps the company to optimize investments in the advancement of bulk power transmission nationwide. And to ensure that the DISCOs key into this plan, TCN held several sessions with officials of the DISCOs. The outcome of the consultative sessions indicates that the DISCOs have committed to support TCN in the process of implementing the PIP towards advancing the entire national electricity grid. In closing, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, also seeks your collaboration and support. You can do this by expressing your views, comments and responses on the TCN YouTube channel, TCN_Nigeria. On Facebook, kindly connect with Transmission Company of Nigeria. Or Twitter, search for @TCN_Nigeria. TCN is also on Instagram, TCN_Nigeria. Email messages are always a pleasure via affairs.public@tcn.org.ng. TCN has an active, responsive and interactive website, tcn.org.ng, where you can get information on bulk power transmission and other activities of TCN. With your support, the Transmission Company of Nigeria, TCN, is always poised to deliver on transmitting electricity in the most efficient and effective manner. I am Amara Akukwesi. Top of the day to you.